Hello, Nicolas.
Hello, Frederic.
Thanks for being with us. I'd like you to tell us a bit how you use Zotero in your own research, in particular in your master thesis.
Yes, okay, so I mainly used Zotero for my master thesis. Zotero can be used for 2 or 3 things, but I mainly used for 2 things. One is to collect and organize my bibliographic data. So when I was on the catalog on the website of the library and I thought, oh, this book I have to use, I clicked on the little icon in the address bar, and so it went into my Zotero bibliography.
So that you can do directly on your browser.
Yes, that's the great advantage of Zotero. You can use it in the browser, and it works for the library catalogs, be it the EPFL, the NEBIS, or the one from Chachereau or whatever. But it also works for the journals, for the article in scholarly publications.
So you just click in one button and it goes in your interface. So as you were looking for material, you were just very easily adding each new references by a single click.
Yes, exactly. And it's really easy, but we have to be a bit careful because sometimes the reference is wrong. So click and check. I would say that. Maybe the author isn't listed as an author in the reference afterwards, and we want him as author, not as editor or collaborator. So click and check.
Excellent. And so you were, and then as you were collecting, how did you incorporate those in your master thesis? Or?
So the next step is I used LibreOffice, but one can also use Word or OpenOffice, or there are several options, but mainly LibreOffice and Word, Microsoft Word are the main options. And you have to install a little plugin for Zotero that makes the links between those text editors and Zotero itself. And once you're in your text editor, you just click on a little icon, and then you can choose. And then it makes the footnote with the right style and everything. And so that's really a lot easier than copy pasting from another document and adding a page 45 and then doing things like that. The other great main advantage is, let's say I want to add 2 references to the same book, one right after the other. Usually you then put EBID in the second.
Exactly.
And if you do that by hand, it's easy. EBID, it's only 5 letters. That's not a problem to type. But then you notice, oh, I want to add a third reference between those 2. And then you have to change manually the EBID. So that's really a waste of time. And with Zotero, it detects that automatically and corrects it. Oh, it's no longer an EBID. It needs another style.
So that's done by the plugin specific for LibreOffice or for another text editor? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You just have to choose when you add your first reference, you have to choose the style, the bibliographic style. There are lots. Things like, Kaplan 2005, page 45. Usual, for example, in political sciences, but also in the sciences, in the hard sciences. That you just put the author and date and the page and the complete reference is then at the end of the document in a bibliography that Zotero can add itself also automatically.
So if your style, so if you write for a book or a journal and the style is already in Zotero, so that's perfect. But if the style is not in Zotero, what do you do?
Yeah, that's a bit the problem. You have then to create your own style, and unfortunately, it's not really easy to do right now. At least not for humanists, because we're not used to editing XML files and things like that. So I did it for my master thesis because there were no styles appropriate for the style used by historians usually in Switzerland.
Uh-huh.
So I had to create my style, and I did it back then. But now there are more and more options. I created one for students, history students in Switzerland. It's available on InfoClio. They made so InfoClio is a platform that coordinates institutions in history and informatics or computer science in Switzerland to make it sort of digital history. And so I made for them a style that is now available to students. And in France, there are also a lot of people making styles for historians and others that are more appropriate, because before it was more like for the United States only.
So there's a real community of people writing new styles, and so maybe we can expect that. I mean, as Zotero is getting more and more popular, I mean, in a couple of years, I mean, in all the disciplines, they're going to be the appropriate styles.
I think so, yes, and maybe I know because these styles are created in a format, an XML format called CSL. And right now you have to edit it by hand. It's not that hard, actually, if you're comfortable with XML files. But it's a bit of, there is a learning curve. I know that there is another software that is using those styles. It's called Mendeley, but it's not open source, unlike Zotero. But I think they're creating Zotero and Mendeley together, maybe. They're creating a software to create those CSL files easier. So it should also become more user-friendly.
Excellent. Okay, and have you used in your master thesis the collaborative aspect of Zotero? I mean, the fact of sharing your bibliography with others, or was it more like a personal research?
Personal research, and I have to say I don't know the collaborative aspect that much. I know, but I don't use it, so I can't say a lot about that. But maybe I can say something about another aspect of Zotero. I started using it now for my PhD thesis because I started collecting a lot of papers from articles from scholarly journals, and those articles are in PDFs on the net. It's not a problem to download them. But then you have to handle that loads of PDFs, and you can actually put them in your Zotero library. They are attached to your reference, and that's really a practical way of doing it. And Zotero with the new version now adds automatically the links, but if it finds the full text in PDF, it adds it to the reference. So that's really practical. And there is another tool that is great. It's called Zotfile. Plugin to Zotero. So plugging on the plugin, actually. Zotfile, what it does is you tell him, okay, my new files are downloaded in this folder. You point to the folder. And then you can just click on a reference and say add a new file, and it proposes to add the latest downloaded item and to put it in the reference. For example, on JSTOR, because you click I accept the conditions for downloading the PDF, usually it doesn't work. At least for me, it should work actually, but it doesn't work. So I can download the PDF by hand and then click add new with that file, and then it's also really easy. It's just one click more on it.
Okay, so it covers all the case where the automatic system should have worked and it's not working so well. So it's a kind of second way of making Zotero work. Yeah.
And it also renames the file from something really bad usually, because it's automatically handled by the website. So it's really an ugly file name, and it puts, you can decide how it should look, but usually it's author, date, and a part of the title. So it also makes the file names prettier.
Excellent. Okay, thank you for all these with good advice and for your usage of Zotero. And
Yep.
bye bye.
Bye.